Good morning, everybody, and happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. Today, we're not doing what I had initially intended to do today, but hopefully, this will still be of interest. So, I have on my agenda, we are going to do an install of OpenMediaVault 6. We will look at the Rolling Rhino remix again, which I've been updating. We may pop over to Windows 10 for a minute or three, and I will finish up the stream, so stay tuned until the end. I will finish up the stream by giving an update on the i9 Proxmox build, which, spoiler alert, it's not done yet, but I'll give you more details at that time. So, good morning, David. Welcome. Okay, so OpenMediaVault released. Excuse me. Hopefully, that's not an omen of things to come. OpenMediaVault released their version 6.0.24 earlier this week on the 4th. And they have since released an update to 6.0.26 on the 7th, yesterday, to fix a missing UI component to configure remote logging of syslog. We've also got the OpenMediaVault file browser, Photo Prism, and S3 using MinIO. So, good morning, Ezra. Welcome. All right, so we are going to do an install of this on Proxmox. This is not the new system, but for what we're doing, this will be a good start, and I can migrate it to the new server later on. So this will be good. All right. So I have already given this 4 processor cores. I'm going to change that to 8 gigs of RAM because I've got the headroom to spare on the old Xeon server. Everything else is good. I've got the ISO image in the virtual optical drive, and so we can go ahead and kick this off. So this is not going to be too different from what I've shown in other install videos for OpenMediaVault. We'll get this installing, and then I will show off the last of the parts that I got for the new build. And we will keep things moving along today, hopefully. We should be finished by about 12:45. 1 o'clock is really the latest I want to go today. So, all right. So while that is doing its thing, the last of my parts, the major parts, arrived yesterday. So I've got the Arctic Liquid Freezer 2 420 RGB. This is actually the first liquid cool unit that I have purchased for myself. It did also come with the adapter bracket for the LG A1700 platform, which I won't be using, but I guess I've got it in case it comes to that at some point. Okay, so let's put myself back here. So this host name we need to put in, this is going to be OM6 stable. Local is fine. Root password. Re-enter root password. So yeah, I'm excited about hopefully completing this build this afternoon, and having this ready for use before the day is out. So, what is everybody doing today on this fine excuse me, this fine Sunday, Mother's Day 2022? Hopefully if your mother or your wife is still around, then you're doing something for them for Mother's Day, at least a phone call or a card or something. Yeah. So, good morning, Catherine. Welcome. All right, so let's, well, that's copying. Let's see what else I've got on the list. So I wanted to look at Rolling Rhino Remix again. So I will be doing an update on the new PC a little later. I did not get the build completed, so we're doing a couple other things today, but it started. It's in progress. All I need to do is finish everything, get everything bolted down and ready to go, and get it ready for the first power on this afternoon. So, but while we're installing OpenMediaVault 6, I wanted to take a look at Rolling Rhino Remix here. And so I did updates on this earlier, which on Rolling Rhino Remix is Rhino update. And there shouldn't really be anything to do here. Well, that might be a bug in their system, because I swear this is what it just downloaded earlier. Okay, so it's doing its thing. It's going through the updates. Maybe this is just doing a cleanup operation. So we'll say yes to that and free up 483 megabytes. Not the worst thing in the world. So, so Rolling Rhino Remix is an unofficial Ubuntu. And it basically turns Ubuntu into a rolling release, much like Arch or Gentoo. So it gets more cutting edge updates. It updates more frequently. Their recommended frequency to update the system is once a week. So when I did this update earlier, it changed the repositories from the Ubuntu 22.04 LTS development packages to the 22.10 release development packages, which development on that has just got started. Since we're not even a full month away from the release of 2204. It's an experimental, unofficial, a little more cutting edge type of Ubuntu. And it changes the update utilities that are used. In some ways, it has a new utility, but it's basically a wrapper around existing utilities with some tweaks included. From the visual part of it, it really doesn't look any different at this point. Whereas the 22.04 release is running the 5.15 kernel, this is now running the 5.17 kernel, and it will hopefully keep things updated, which is good for newer equipment and things of that nature. So let's see where we're at on the install of OpenMediaVault. No proxy. We'll let that do its thing. So the other thing, and I know I'm kind of bouncing a little bit today, but trying to keep things moving along for the sake of a good video. So on my mini PC machine, the B-Link that I bought last fall, just before the Windows 11 release. So I have been running Chocolatey. I think that's the command I want. I've been running Chocolatey as a package manager to install software for quite some time. But the one downside of Chocolatey is that you have to grab the installer to actually install Chocolatey. It does not come with Windows as standard. Recent updated versions of Windows 10 and all versions of Windows 11 also include winget, which is Microsoft's attempt at a package manager. It's only at version 1.2.10271. But it has the basic required features that are similar to apt or RPM or DNF or yum, what have you, on the Linux side of things, but available out of the box on Windows. So the great thing about this is that from a fresh Windows install, and no, I'm not much for extolling virtues of Windows, but this is one thing, to me, it's a game changer that makes it more usable. But one thing you could do is right off the bat, you open up an administrator terminal, because it's no longer just PowerShell, it's the terminal, which is the wrapper around PowerShell. You open the Windows terminal and you can search packages that you want to install. So if you want to search Chrome, it will tell you the different versions of Chrome that are available. So Google Chrome, and the package name, or ID as they call it, is google.chrome. I've already got this installed, but if you wanted to install it, you would just type winget install google.chrome. And of course, we all know that Windows is not case sensitive, so it doesn't matter that in the list they've got it capitalized. It will still work. Likewise, after you've got things installed, you can do happen here. Update. Oops. Winget upgrade. And it will go out and it will check what is the full upgrade? All, I'm pretty sure is what it is. Okay, no available update found. So this can be very handy if you are installing a bunch of new machines, because this is scriptable. So no longer do you have to use a tool like Ninite, where it downloads executable installers for programs. You can write a simple PowerShell script to do this for you. Or it's not available yet, but Chris Titus over at Chris Titus Tech channel is building a PowerShell script with a GUI that will allow you to click checkboxes and install things. It will also update your system. It will also, do his famous Windows debloat operations as well, which every every tech I've been talking to lately that keeps up with stuff is actually using this his existing debloat script for Windows 10 and 11. So I just wanted to throw that out here because it's absolutely something that people should be aware of. All right, so we're at the next stage of the installer for OpenMediaVault. We're going to select our boot drive to install the bootloader. All right, we've got a good question down here. Can winget install anything like Steam, for instance? Well, that is an absolutely great question. So you do winget search Steam. And what do you know? Valve.steam is the package that you want to install. Not sure if I've got Steam installed on this. I've already got Steam installed on this. So I think I did it the old way. You know, um, having used Windows since like 1990, 91 ish, maybe it was 1990. It was Windows 3.0. You know, it's still ingrained in my head when I use Windows that you know, you go out and you download stuff and you install it manually. And this is a game changer. This is really something that um, you know, it's going to make it much more manageable. It's going to just in a lot of ways it's enough of a game changer. It does to a point level the playing field between Linux and Windows from the standpoint of having um, a built-in package manager. And you know, this is something that Linux has had for over 20 years. Um, Mac has had it for, well, let me take that back. Mac has had Homebrew, which is an additional package you've got to add for at least 10 years, and it could be longer. Um, but Windows was, you know, Microsoft was the last holdout with Windows on this. And so there were third party package managers like Chocolatey. And there's another one, I believe it's called, oops. It's called Scoop, I believe, that I've never actually used. Um, but somebody had mentioned it um, in a video I saw. So um, you know, choice is good. Um, and you know, this will just make things easier. It definitely makes setting up new computers faster. Um, and we'll complete the installation of OpenMediaVault. So, um, yeah, this definitely, like I said, it definitely makes setting up a new PC faster. Um, and we will see what happens here. All right, so it does not seem to be. Now it's rebooting. So first boot into OpenMediaVault. We'll find out what our IP address is and then go from there. Apparently that's better. Didn't actually report my correct IP address. So this is the correct address down here, 74.100. And so just for grins, we'll open that up in the rolling Rhino. Come on. All right, let's do that. We got Firefox. And Firefox is not installed. What do we have for... all right, let's just for grins, we'll install Chrome as a flat pack and not as a snap. I'll probably install Firefox as well. Let's see. Although I planned on a stream tonight, I don't think it will work out with Mother's Day activities today. Good call. Good call. YouTube will still be here next Sunday. So yeah, let's see if we can get this to finish up, and then we will go from there. Another crazy week at my day job as well. My director is going on vacation soon, so he wants to check as many boxes as possible. That's understandable. They've started the hiring process for the new director at the library, so things are still a little crazy there for me as well. And my financial advisor is pressuring me to get a higher paying job, so I'm looking a little bit, but yeah. I'm really looking hard at being able to retire from my day job. Well, that will be interesting, and we'll see how your YouTube channel explodes once you do that. All right, so we'll open Google Chrome. Hey, look at that. Okay, so now we've got Chrome open here. Got OpenMediaVault. And the default login is admin and OpenMediaVault. And usually the first thing you want to do when you install is change your password for the admin user. All right. So what does our little bell have to say? Password updated. We can get rid of that notification. So first thing we want to do is look at updates. And there are a few updates from the initial release. So we'll go ahead and do that now. And this is all fairly painless. You know, I suppose would be nice if they had an option to hide the text scrolling through, just to be less intimidating for non-technical users. If you use a product like a Synology or a QNAP or a Buffalo, you know, they hide a lot of this stuff going on behind the scenes, because they're products built for less tech savvy users. Myself, I don't mind seeing this, and it's quite useful for troubleshooting. But there are significant numbers of people out there that may get paranoid by what they're seeing, especially when there comes an error message across their screen, and you know, just not know the significance or lack thereof of such an error message. Okay, so we're going to check the box in the yellow to confirm the configuration changes. And if anybody's paying attention, the little stopwatch on there, that is a remnant from the Amiga GUI from back in the day. That dates to probably 1990 or earlier. Okay, so we've got our updates performed, and at this point, we want to shut the machine down. And why? You might be asking. Well, because I've got there's another remnant from the Amiga software failure. So I have a particular way. I don't like that happened twice in a row. I have a particular way I like to do an OpenMediaVault install. And that is doing the base OS install first, and then adding the storage drives to it. So I'm going to go ahead and shut this down. I'm going to confirm it. And so that should shut down here in a moment. And we'll jump out of that. Okay, so as soon as this actually shows as shut down, we will add 4 virtual disks. We will be setting this up in RAID. It's not going to help us speed-wise, but just to show that you can do it even on a virtual platform. And the procedure really isn't that much different from a physical machine. It's just that doing it with a VM, you don't have to get out screwdrivers and, you know, hook cables or anything like that. You are just ready to go after you add the disks. So we're going to go to hardware. We're going to add. But before we do that, I want to take a look right here. Currently, the hard disk that we've got on here, the virtual hard disk we've got on here is disk 0. And it is, in fact, SCSI 0. There's our SCSI controller. So we're going to add additional SCSI drives to this. And the way we can keep this straight is that our boot disk is 20 gigabytes, and the other ones I'm just going to add default size disks. And so they're going to be 32 gigs a piece. Which is small, but again, this is for demonstration purposes, so they don't need to be huge. We will still be able to do what we want to do with them. And go from there. All right, so we've got SCSI 0, which is a 20 gig drive. That's our boot drive. We've got 4 32 gig virtual hard disks, which are SCSI 1 through SCSI 4. And we've actually got those stored on different physical disks. So the boot drive is on the ISO and templates disk, and the other 4 are on the My VMs disk. So at this point, we can start up our machine again. Okay, and that's booted up. This time it does in fact have the correct IP address. So we'll jump over here again. All right. So now we can go to storage. And it doesn't like me today. Well then, there may be some glitching with this system. Make sure there aren't any additional updates. All right. So we really need to get into storage if we're going to add disks. I have not seen this kind of erratic behavior in OpenMediaVault in a long time, which is very perplexing to me. System. Those are all plugins, which we don't need to worry about right now. This is why we test things. let's see. It's using an NTP server for time, so that should not be the issue. Scheduled tasks, certificates, update management. And we're just going to stick with the stable channel for the time being. Plugins. Okay. Network should not need to be changed at all at this point in the configuration. Let's see, services, that's all stuff that we would configure after the disks are added. Diagnostics, and it crashes out again. Well, this is irritating. Okay, so let's catch up with the chat a little bit while this is being a little neurotic. Ponder doing a quick one this evening after 9, but won't know until everything quiets down. Alright. Really like to do a stream on the ESXi, installing images for Windows and Linux on my test bench. That would be cool. Learned a lot about Unify yesterday, which will help with future videos. So David, if you haven't checked out, Willie Howe has some amazing Unify videos. Tom Lawrence from Lawrence Systems has some amazing Unify videos. Chris from Crosstalk Solutions has some amazing Unify videos. I've been using Unify for a number of years now. As you could guess by the comment I left on your video from this morning, when I set it up, you didn't have to sign up for an account with them to make it work. So you know, I'm happy to have you bounce ideas off for me if you run into any snags along the way. So let's see. Let's see. Yeah, I'm looking forward to having that new server up and running as well. It's coming along. I didn't want to rush it to try to have it ready for today's stream. You know, when you rush, you risk doing something stupid and costing yourself more dollars. And that's something I just am not willing to do at this stage in the game. So you tried that new AR for smartphones on a Unify system. That is one thing I have not tried. I have stayed away from the specifically the phone Unify Talk. Um, I'm not sure if their AR system works for other phones other than their own Unify branded um, phones that run with Unify Talk. So um, yeah. Um, yes, the liquid cool system, the AIO liquid cool systems do take longer to build. I've built one system for a friend with a liquid cooler, and it was basically a whole weekend project. Of course, it took us a couple trips to Micro Center to get some additional pieces, parts that he didn't have at his disposal when we started. Um, so, um, my main source for Unify has been Mac Telecom Networks, a young guy that lives ubiquity. Yes. Um, Tom Lawrence talks about him, I think. It seems like one of the other guys might have mentioned him as well. But yeah, I don't think he was making Unify videos when I started using those products. Um, I've watched a few of his videos, but I think Willie and Chris is where I really got my start. So, all right. So let's see what this is going to do now. Well, we almost got to raid management. Okay, so I'm afraid this is going to be a no-go today. um, let's see. I'm just going to shut this down. I don't like the confirm on shutdown. Okay, so I'll just stay in Ubuntu and do it this way. Okay, so what did we do that made this unhappy? Um, okay, so let's do this. We'll rerun the installer. SCSI 0. We are going to put this on my VMs. I'm going to make this a 20. And we will push through this one more time and see if we end up with a different result. Not going to guarantee it, but it's worth a shot. Worth a shot. This is not how I prefer to do my install for OpenMediaVault, but just for the sake of argument, it can be done with all the disks attached at the beginning. The big thing is If I'm going to have all the disks attached from the start, then I like to have the boot drive be a smaller drive size than the storage disks. It just makes it easier to identify which drive you're going to install on. Your mileage may vary. Other people have different ways of doing things. This is my preferred method. But yeah. So one thing, if you hang around with people that build computers or do VMs, there's at least 5 different ways of doing any given task. And that's that. So, yeah, let's let me take a look at my notes here. OMV6 stable MK2. Okay, so oops, what happened there? Okay. All right. So the update on the i9 server build. I have all my parts in hand. As of yesterday. As I mentioned earlier, I've started the build, but it is not yet completed. I'm taking it slow with this one because this is only the second water cooled build I've done, and so I'm operating under the slow and steady wins the race mindset. I am hoping that it will be finished yet this afternoon. And the end goal is to have Proxmox VE installed on it. Now, there was an announcement this week let's see, that was Steam now let's see, that was not from the 29th, that was from earlier this week. Here we go. From OMG Ubuntu. And this was probably a response to, at least in part, to the Linus Tech Tips video where he completely borked his system trying to install Steam. But Steam is now available as a snap package. So you can install it with just a single command, or you can go into the App Store or Software Store, I guess is the proper name, and you can install Steam from there as a snap package. And this, I think, is a development that's going to open up things for um, less tech savvy people, people that want to try Ubuntu, but they still want to do gaming. And so my reason for bringing this up is that I'm somewhat tempted, at least um, for some initial testing, to install Ubuntu on the new system and test it out with Steam a little bit. Um, considering that I've got a Steam account, I've got a game I recently purchased. I did buy my copy of Infernax, which I want to see if that'll run with Proton on Linux. And what better system to do it on than this one that I'm building? Um, Otherwise, I've got to jump over to the mini PC with the Ryzen 7 in it and run it there. So that is sort of my plan with the system build. Okay, so that is not needed anymore. So this is what we want to look at. I'm hoping that the issue was caused by an oversight on my part. Which, hey, it's a virtual machine, so that's okay. Much less nerve-wracking to miss a setting on a virtual machine than it is on a physical machine. Okay, so let me take a look at chat real quick. Um, let's see. This I've got to see. His 12U rack fell off his wall in his basement. What on earth? Why would you publish an embarrassing video like that? I'm going to have to go look it up just to see that happen. Does not speak well of his network building consulting creds. All right. Welcome, Jangle Stick. Solid profile picture there with the Pink Floyd. I'm okay with that. I'm still more of a Zeppelin and Sabbath guy, but Pink Floyd is probably in my top 5 for classic rock. Definitely in the top 10, but most days it's in the top 5 for me. Let's see. I really want to play Metro Exodus on Linux to get the performance numbers between iOS, Windows, and Linux. Interesting. So is that a game that plays on mobile, or are you talking Mac OS? Um, let's see. I'll be building my server with 5.25-inch bay that allows me to easily switch the base OS images. Yeah. So I've got in one of my other machines, I've got a 4 and 3, 3.5-inch drive adapter, or drive cage rather, and I'm contemplating moving that to the new i9 machine. Just for similar reasons. I've also got from when I was teaching, I've got a padded box, a case rather, similar to a Pelican case, but it's built just for hard drives, 3.5-inch hard drives. So I am going to be able to label things and then be able to swap them in and out as necessary. So yeah, that'll be good. Cannot listen to Pink Floyd at night. During the day is fine. um, Mac OS, Windows, and Ubuntu compatible. Nice. Okay. No info on your chip, or did I miss it in the bump? So I've mentioned a couple times in the stream. I'm taking some extra time precautions on this particular build. I've got all the parts. I don't want to risk doing something stupid. I was tired last night, and um, I got to the point where I needed to take and hit the pause button for a little while. So after the stream this afternoon, after I make some lunch, uh, I will be jumping back into that build and hopefully completing it yet this afternoon. If that if everything falls into place, there will be some updates posted on the community page of my channel, perhaps with some still images showing it up and running, and at least in its initial configuration. I probably won't move that drive cage over initially, but I'm hoping to have it up and running yet today. So the bay will support either 3 or 2.5-inch solid state drives. Nice. So I've got the drive cage I've got. It's got 4 3.5-inch bays in it. It'll fit into 3 bays in the case, and it doesn't by default support 2.5-inch solid state drives, but I do have 2.5 to 3.5-inch adapters that will let me put it in that cage. So that's that, I guess. So like I said, that won't go into the initial build. I want to get it put together and tested, and I can add the cage in afterwards. Excuse me. Okay, yeah, right. So you've got the specs on the chip itself. Yep, yep. I like being rested when I'm building a machine, especially something that um, I've not done multiple times previous. If I was just building a, regular desktop machine that was air cooled, I probably would have pushed through it last night. But with the liquid cooler and additional fans and different things like that to add in the mix, yeah. Um, all right. Primary SSD will be a 2 terabyte M.2 Gen 4. Very nice. That is where VMware will hold the boot and key VMs. So I guess my question right off, David, would be, what is your backup strategy for your VM server? Are you just going to back up the snapshots to your Sigma NAS, or do you have something else in mind for that? Let's see. Jangle Stick says this is important stuff to know because they are trying to move all the keys into the SOC. Yep. That is a mistake I always make. I have pushed through the night when I ran into problems. Oh, trust me, I've been there. I've done it. I try to be cognizant of having done it and not try to continue that behavior. What wasn't it Einstein that said the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results? Uh, um, got to quote Uncle Albert once in a while, you know. Um, yep. For now, the new Sigma NAS once I build it. Awesome. I'm going to be interested in following this series on your new VM server build and the new Sigma NAS, and just seeing how this all develops. Um, um, I don't like that that's stuck at 95%. So let's refresh and see. Well, that really is stuck at 95%. Okay, well, I guess this is going to be one of those live demo curse days. All right, so yeah, I guess we'll go back to this view. It's 20 minutes to 1. And so this is not doing what I wanted it to do yet again. All right, so I am not entirely sure why that is doing that. The only other thing I can think of is that potentially. Let's shut it down. Potentially, I've got a bad download of the ISO image. I think that's .org. Some cookies. So okay. So that's the old 5.6 release. That's 6024. I'm going to copy the link address. I'm going to come back here to Proxmox. And I'm going to stop this again. And once that stops, well, I'm not going to go through the whole thing again. Twice is enough for one day, or at least one stream. I will do some additional troubleshooting, and I'll have other videos coming to talk about OpenMediaVault. But for the time being, I don't want to waste a lot more time on that. So, well, this is really kind of bizarre that it's doing what it's doing. Okay, so it finally did shut down. I am going to come back here to local. I am going to delete the OpenMediaVault image, and we'll download a fresh one. We're going to query the URL, and we'll come back here, and we are going to verify it with the SHA-256. Advanced SHA-256. Paste. Download. At least this way I'll know I've got a good ISO image. So let's see. Find it hard to sleep when there's a problem I believe I can fix. Yes. I have tried and I'm still trying to break myself of that habit. I'm not always successful. Uh, at least when it comes to personal stuff. If I'm on the clock and getting paid, I will potentially, occasionally, grab an energy drink and push through. Um, I don't claim that that's always the most productive way to do things, but I have done it before. Will also be something of a showcase in my den as well as the server. Very nice. Okay, let's see what we've got here. I think we are pretty close. Chris has taken me down on more than one live stream. It is very powerful. Yes. Um, Alcohol sometimes helps in my case, but it also causes other problems. Yeah, I try not to get into alcohol when I'm working on computers. I found it doesn't help as much as I might want it to, and it does have a tendency to make me more tired more quickly. So, but all right. Well, um, are there any other questions or comments out there in the group right now? Um, I think I'm going to start wrapping this up. I want to make some lunch. Um, I'm going to make turkey tacos because my little local grocery store was out of ground beef. So, um, turkey tacos it is. um, so yeah, I'm going to make up some turkey tacos and then I'm going to tear into the rest of this um, server build and see how far I can get on it before the end of the afternoon. Um, and the nice thing is I can do a little bit of multitasking and see about getting some laundry done and another load of dishes and kind of have my week start off caught up on some things for a change. So, um, yeah. If I get really adventurous, I might do an impromptu live stream tomorrow night and talk about things some more. But I'm not going to promise at this point. But I've done stranger things in the past. Oh, all right. Um, let's see. Yes, with booze, my elbows get a little too wide, and suddenly I don't fit among all my precious, delicate technology. Not a great combo for me. All right. Well, wish you all the luck on that build. Thank you. And thank you, everybody, for coming out today. I had higher hopes for this stream as far as getting OpenMediaVault up and running, but after two failed attempts, I'm not going to keep repeating. I'm going to do this offline and try to get things going that way and see if it magically decides to work for me. So thank you all again for coming out. Again, if you still got your mother around, I think you owe her at least a phone call if you haven't sent a card or anything like that. If you've got kids, then I guess the same goes for your wife. Um, but yeah, to any of the mothers that may be watching now or in the future, happy Mother's Day. And I think this is a good place to end the stream. Thank you all again, and be on the lookout for more updates about the new server. Once it is up and running, I'm sure I will be at least making a post to the community tab on the channel page. So until next time, stay safe out there and happy computing. Have a great day, everybody.